Have Halal Travel's immersive virtual event to celebrate Ramadan and Eid. While the celebrations that Muslims are used to may be different because of COVID 19, we hope to bring the spirit of Ramadan and the festivities to everyone through this event. You can look forward to an exciting lineup of shows, daily challenges, and our very own virtual bazaar, as well as lucky draw prizes throughout Ramadan as well. Now, one of the key segments of our event is Ramadan around the world. And today I have Latifah and Hani here with me from Hong Kong. So, welcome.
Assalamualaikum. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Hi.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you for joining us today. How are you both?
Surviving.
Good.
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
All right. So, I can't wait. I'm really excited for this conversation. So, let's jump right into it. Latifah, let's go over to you first. So, you're a born Chinese Muslim in Hong Kong. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself?
So my family is historically Muslim. So um, I was born Muslim. I've only known being a Muslim all my life, and I guess it's quite uncommon. Like even myself, when I see a Chinese Muslim in Hong Kong, I'm like, "Whoa, you exist!" Even though I am one myself. It kind of adds something to like my background, my personality, and it's really made me who I am today. In recent years, I've taken more to like owning this identity and really embracing who I am.
Oh, that's awesome. That must feel really nice when you were talking about, meeting someone and you didn't realize that they technically do share like that same personality and identity as you. That's really nice. And so now that we're talking about, of course, this is the Ramadan around the world segment. I want to go straight into the matter of it. So, what's a typical day like for you during Ramadan in Hong Kong?
On a work day, it would be waking up at 4 a.m., having the pre-dawn meal, pre-dawn prayer, and then trying to get just a few more hours of sleep in before I have to go to work. And then at work, just work in the morning, and then lunch break. It would be I'd go to. We have this wellness room that I use as like a prayer room, and then I pray, and for me, Ramadan is like really important for catching up on like knowledge, and that during other months I always have an excuse. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. But Ramadan, I really just like settle down and be like, okay, I'm going to increase my knowledge this month and listen to lectures. So during lunch, I'll just put in my headphones and find a lecture from like, I don't know, Cambridge Muslim College, and just listen, and then after lunch work again, and then and then break fast, and then pray, and just do like evening activities if I can.
Okay, I should definitely take notes from you because I don't do enough listening and gaining this knowledge. Honey, for you, I'm sure you have your own experience that will be slightly different from Latifa. And so, okay, that makes me wonder, how long have you been living in Hong Kong first? And why did you move there?
So I've been living in Hong Kong for almost 3 years plus, and I've moved here because of my husband got a job here. So we moved here. So yeah.
And so, same question, and I think it might also be slightly different. What's your day like during Ramadan in Hong Kong? So just like take us through maybe your daily routine or any activities that you do.
So during Ramadan, so usually I work the whole day, and then after that, prepare food for breaking fast with my husband, and then break fast with my husband, and then we usually pray Tarawih together. If we have extra time, then we'll listen to Islamic talks before we go to sleep. And if we're tired, we won't do Tarawih, but we'll try to recite Quran. So yeah, those are like typical days during Ramadan.
Like, how is the Ramadan experience different in Hong Kong compared to Malaysia?
It's a huge difference, especially during COVID-19 time. As Muslims in Hong Kong are minority. So it's not like a big event or big celebration as compared to Malaysia. And as well as you don't have big like breaking fast, berbuka together. We don't have more together. So it's very very different experience, but in a way it taught, especially me and my husband, the value of family and good companions and friendship, because we don't we don't have a family here. So that's something that we learned, that we should appreciate and cherish our family and our close friends more.
Oh, definitely. And I think last year, during the peak of the pandemic, that's something a lot of people also miss, the whole gathering and being with your loved ones. So, how are both of you spending Ramadan this year in Hong Kong? Are, things pretty much back to normal from before COVID? We'll go to you, Latifah, first.
In Hong Kong, we do have like Tarawih, and we do have like the mosques are open. And pre-COVID, there were group iftars, and so last year there was almost none of that. But this year the mosques are open again, so we can go for like socially distanced Tarawih. But there's no more like food being offered to everyone, so it's kind of like a toned down version. And I will still be going to the mosque, just I guess it's a bit celebratory, and it's just, I guess, on the other hand, it means I'm spending more time at home and with my family. So rather than a larger community, I'm focusing on my small home community.
So I feel like, you can't really talk about Ramadan without also kind of talking about Eid. They kind of go both hand in hand. So how are you two planning to celebrate Eid this year? Are there any particular traditions or food that you guys eat during Eid in Hong Kong?
Okay. So me and my family, we don't like go like for an all-out celebration, but then we usually would go to the same restaurant every year. Food is like guaranteed to be good, and they have enough space, and so that's like Islam food in the city, where they serve like Shanghainese, Northwest Chinese style food. So that is our go-to place.
I'm just imagining it as you were talking about food. How about you, Honey? Like any particular traditions or food in that's kind of special or local to Hong Kong that you enjoy eating during Ramadan or during Eid? Sorry.
Usually during Eid before COVID, we usually go to the consulate of Malaysia. We celebrate with other Malaysians and we eat local Malaysian dishes. And during the COVID, usually we'll go to Rumah Malaysia, which is the Consulate General of Hong Kong, Malaysia. And we have a small celebration. But this year will be different because of the COVID-19 and the restrictions, a lot of SOP. So most likely we will be having Eid in one of the Hong Kong restaurants. It's either Islam food or canteen at the Wan Chai Mosque. So that will be dim sum, Hong Kong dim sum.
I feel like it's a kind of it reminds me of this phrase of you can take the person out of Malaysia, but you can't take the Malaysian out of the person. I feel like you truly emulate that phrase. And yeah, Latifah, as you were talking with this Shanghainese cuisine, like my mouth just automatically started watering.
Are you fasting?
Yes, I'm fasting, and I'm sure like all of us are fasting. And, oh, it just started to water, and I
That's
cannot wait till I get the chance to taste these like this myself. And I'm sure like everyone, including our audience, we're all excited to travel again, right after the pandemic. And I feel like a lot of people may not know this, but Hong Kong is actually a popular destination with Muslims. So, Latifa, as a Hong Kong local, like we're sure you have many tips that you can share about traveling to Hong Kong. So, first off, what's one must-see spot for any traveler visiting Hong Kong?
There are a lot of massive cities in the world, or like very like developed places with high-rise buildings, and what makes Hong Kong so different from other places is just the density of all our high-rise buildings. So you have to look at it from like Victoria Harbour, Victoria Peak. Those are like the typical places that you would have to go if it's your first visit. Just like looking at the whole built-up city from a higher standpoint, or by the harbor, where it's just really really pretty at night and during the day if the weather is good. And but then, despite this all of this like city urban architecture, we also have a lot of really pretty countryside that is untouched, and like country parks. You can go kayaking, you can go hiking, and all of that is part of the whole package, and it's all just within like 30 minutes of each other because it's so small. Sometimes weekends I go camping for just like a day or two, and then I would tell them kind of tell the US, yeah, I just like camping, and like overnight. And they're like, what? Because to them, camping is like a 2-week process. You have to like travel out into the side and get your tent and all that. But here, it's everything is quick and efficient, like the Hong Konger.
Nice. Oh wow, so it's like a good balance between city and nature. So, Honey, like earlier you mentioned that you've been living in Hong Kong for 3 years now. So I'm sure you must have explored quite a bit of the city yourself. What do you love most about Hong Kong? To give a little bit of an insight for people who have future travel plans to Hong Kong.
So Hong Kong is known for its concrete jungle, but it has a lot of beautiful nature that you could experience. So usually as a tourist, you can mix up your itinerary with city travel. So you can go to Central, or you can go to Shim Shai Shu and visit the History Museum, the New Art Museum, which is really beautiful, as well as walk around Central. And then, the next few days, you can also try to experience the nature in Hong Kong. You can go to Sai Kung for hiking, or you can, one of the best hiking trail is called Mac Lee Ho's Trail. And one of the best is actually stage 2, where you get trails of few beautiful beaches. So I'll definitely recommend tourists to also experience the nature in Hong Kong, because usually people come to Hong Kong for the concrete jungle, but the nature is also very very beautiful, and it's very accessible as well. Hong Kong has around 200 islands, small islands, as well as the big islands like Lantau and Lama Island. So I will definitely encourage tourists to also go to the outlying islands. And one of the most beautiful island is called Grass Island. So you can get a ferry from Sai Kung. Even the ferry ride is really beautiful, especially during sunset. So yeah.
I love hiking, love the outdoors, but I wouldn't, like miss the opportunity of exploring around the city because I feel like there are a lot of, hidden gems as well on both sides, whether it's a city or nature. And another big part of traveling is also, is the food. And I think it would be fair to say that all of us are like huge foodies or here or anywhere in the world. So, and halal food is, very important for Muslim travelers. So, Latifa, we'll go with you first. What's one local eatery that you recommend for any Muslim travelers to try in Hong Kong?
Mm, I'd say my all-time favorite and place that would you won't really be able to find as much in other places would be this restaurant called Ba Yi, which is in around the central and western district of Hong Kong Island, and they serve food from Xinjiang. And it's so good that like even during all of COVID lockdowns and like restrictions on restaurants, you still have like a whole queues of people outside waiting to take away because they have to have their fix of Ba Yi that day. So they've got like noodles and like lamb-based dishes, and it's like really well spiced with a lot of like cumin. And yeah, I also like to go there for like celebratory events.
So, Hani, how about you? Any local recommendations in Hong Kong?
I'll definitely recommend Islam food. The chicken curry is really, really good. It's different from the Malaysian or the Indian curry. Very, very different. And also, it's a famous Hong Kong dish. Yes, beef goulash is really, really good in Islam food as well. So yeah, that's one of the places that I will recommend. And it's also halal certified. So it's at One Chai Market. It's called Islamic Canteen. That's where you can get halal dim sum.
People seem to always talk about Chrisley Bakery. Have you been? Is it?
Yes, I have been. So they have one somewhere in Central. Their egg tart, it's quite, we're like, okay, this is really good.
Okay, okay.
So yeah.
So I think these are all really amazing tips. So anyone who's watching right now, if you have Hong Kong on your bucket list, definitely take note of all these things. And if you don't have Hong Kong on your bucket list, you definitely should have it by now. And as we're talking about traveling and in the different lifestyles, cultures, and food, it this really circles back to Hafala Will Travel's mission, which is to foster peace and understanding between people of different backgrounds. So Hani, do you have any stories to share about your interactions with people of different backgrounds and faiths in Hong Kong?
So in Hong Kong, it's a very multiracial city. So that's one thing that I like. For example, in my workplace, we have a small team, but it's very dynamic and multiracial. So we have Malaysian, Indonesian, Indian, New Zealand, South Korean, and we have Norwegian. So that's a symbol of Hong Kong, a city that is very multiracial and dynamic. But they're very, very warm and they're very, very helpful. So that's part of my interaction with the locals here.
Okay, so Latifah, do you have this sort of share the same experience of?
I think Hong Kongers tend to be pretty used to seeing people from different backgrounds, and then the good thing about Hong Kong is that there are a lot of people from a lot of different places, like smack in the middle of Asia, and also like such a big financial center, and people from places that you wouldn't really expect like to come here. So like there's recently been a new Persian restaurant that's been opened by people from Iran, and you wouldn't really think, oh, Hong Kong has Iranian food, and so I'm really happy about that.
Before we wrap up, we have just one last question. Can you share your hope as a Muslim for the world?
So I think in terms of hope is unity, especially in a lot of Muslim countries. We see a lot of sadly wars or different political beliefs. So it'll be nice if we can all unite as brothers and sisters. So yeah, so that's my hope.
How about you, Latifah?
If Hani is talking about unity, I would want to talk about empathy. I think this is a concept that's kind of lacking around the world, and I just wish if everyone just thought a bit less about themselves sometimes and more about others from their perspective, then everyone would just automatically become a better person, and then the world as a whole would also become better. So yeah, I hope people can spend more time thinking about other people.
That's absolutely lovely. All right, thank you so much, Latifah and Hani, for taking the time and talking to us and sharing about your experiences. And after our conversation, I definitely cannot wait to visit Hong Kong when we're able to sometime in the future. Hopefully, maybe sooner than later. We'll see. Only time will tell. So thank you again for joining us today. Do you have any last words?
Yeah, come to Hong Kong. Let me know if you do.
Same here. If you do come to Hong Kong, let us know. We can go for hiking and have good local food. And I just want to wish everyone Ramadan Mubarak as well.
That's awesome. Thank you, Hani, and thank you, Latifah. So, for those of you at home, thank you so much for watching our Hello Ramadan program. Don't forget to check out helloramadan.com, our immersive virtual event. And this is a place where you can take part in a virtual bazaar, daily challenges, and win amazing staycations and dining vouchers from our grand draw. We also have more exciting shows coming up, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Have a blessed Ramadan ahead, everyone, and bye.
Thank you so much.